So, my first job out of university was a sales job, and it was door-to-door sales, so it was very long hours, and it was an average day was about 9 to 10, and I really wanted to get into sales because I just had this gut feeling that it aligned with my direction in life, like where I wanted to go, and I wasn't really sure why, but I just wanted to do it, and I decided to do it, and so I decided to take it very seriously, and I put a lot of things on the back burner in that time period. This YouTube account is an example. Those first few months when I was working really long hours in sales, I didn't record a lot of YouTube videos. I didn't worry too much about going to the gym. I didn't worry too much about the quality of my sleep or the quality of my food. I just recognised that if I wanted to make progress in it, then that was something that I had to do. I just had to really focus on door-to-door sales. And so that's what I did for the first few months. But as time went on, I begun feeling a little bit more like, even though it was a great skill to learn, door-to-door sales, and even though I was getting a lot out of it, there was still too much of my life that I wasn't making progress in. And I recognised that I needed to spend some time doing something that wasn't door-to-door sales. And I had to find an obvious time to do this. And the most obvious time was right before I went to work. And so I began getting up a little bit earlier every morning. I'd get up at 6 a.m, which isn't that early in the grand scheme of things, but in winter, it feels very early. And I wake up before the sun would rise. And those times were some of the fondest times while I was working in sales, because I'll just get up a couple of hours before I had to go to work, and that was just my time to do whatever I liked. And I just wake up, put the kettle on, make myself an instant black coffee, and then just sit behind my laptop and just go straight into a flow state, whether that was animating a video or recording a YouTube video or something like that. It was just a special time, and the sun would just rise in the window behind me, and the world would slowly wake up as I was working towards my goals. Yeah, it was a really incredible feeling. But anyway, obviously this had the knock-on impacts on my sleep, because like I say, I was basically working 12 hours, finishing at like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and getting back home, like earliest 9:30 realistically, sometimes 9 o'clock, but plenty of nights a week I was getting back at 10, sometimes even 11, and so I wasn't really getting very much sleep, because once you sort yourself out, it's quite difficult to get enough sleep basically. And I recognised that just for this next part of my life, I'm gonna get less sleep. I'm gonna have to sacrifice that for this endeavour, in order to wake up and have this sort of sacred time where I just do what's really important to me before I go to work. And that was a sacrifice. That was a bit of a shame. And I did notice that my sleep, how I performed throughout the day, like whatever, I felt a bit worse, I didn't... It was a sacrifice to miss out on that extra hour or so of sleep. Anyway, I've recently moved to Oxford, and I've basically got myself in the exact same situation. where I've got myself settled in Oxford, and I started thinking, right, I want to wake up earlier and get in the same habit of like waking up earlier and doing a bit of work before I go to like my actual job. But I've been confronted with the same issue, and that is that I just waking up earlier, unless you can go to bed at like 9 o'clock or whenever it is that you need to go to bed for, you just are going to have less sleep, and that is going to have an impact on how you feel throughout the day, which is going to have an impact on how you perform in your actual job. And it's interesting because, I'm at a real crossroads at the moment where I'm thinking about this. Do I prioritise quality of sleep, or do I prioritise waking up early and having that kind of moment in the morning just to do whatever I want? Because it seems to me that, at least in the short to medium term, over the next, until my sleeping pattern adapts, which is really difficult to do, I had to choose one. I had to decide, okay, either I'm getting up early or my sleep quality is going to be worse. Like, which is it going to be? And it's really difficult because both these things are canon, like classic self-improvement things. Everyone's banging on about sleep quality and getting 8 hours of sleep and all this stuff. Very popular in self-improvement. But then at the same time, there's a huge thing for waking up at 5 a.m. and, doing your sort of grind before you get into the main work of the day. And I'm at a crossroads. Like, I've got to pick one. I mean, I mentioned a bit about sleep quality and getting onto like a good your sleep routine, kind of adapting. And there is something to be said that, like, if you do it for long enough, if you wake up at a certain time for long enough, you will eventually adapt. But in my experience, it takes a very long time to do. And I have long since, I've definitely been able to discipline myself to physically go to bed at whatever time I like. 9 o'clock, hell, 8:30, like, whatever it is, like, I can get myself into bed super early. I can organise myself to do that. But that doesn't mean I'm able to go to sleep straight away afterwards. And that's the important thing. And I feel like if you go to bed and you don't fall asleep, it does surprisingly little. Like, there's not much you can really get from just lying in bed. And like, for a while I was like, oh, it's good because I'm still resting, whatever, and there is some truth in that. But really, all these nights where I discipline myself to go to bed early, like, it hasn't really worked. I've always felt that I'm just fighting such an uphill battle. And so that's why I say, like, in the short term, basically, I've decided either I've got to accept the L of bad sleep quality, and just that having an impact on my ability to do my other job better, or I get really, like, wake up, but then I don't wake up early and have that time to move towards my goals. And yeah, it's a tricky one. It's a bit of a dilemma, and I've just noticed it. And maybe you're in a similar position, you've had the same experience yourself, but I'm just trying to show my thought process about it, and I'm really trying to think. I'm going on annual leave after tomorrow, but just when I get back, I really want to think about, like, what am I going to prioritise with this situation, like, and it's a really difficult one, because I do believe, like, sleep is really important. I don't want to turn into one of these idiots who, they get up really early and they're super productive, but then they just wear themselves out, and you know, they just lose their hair because they've got, you know, they've not prioritised their health, you know. And yeah, it's a really tough one, but yeah, maybe there's something you take away from this. But otherwise, thanks for watching, guys, and I'm actually doing some coaching at the moment, so if you want to get involved, top link in the description. Love to hear from you, and apart from that, I'll see you in the next one.